Okay guys, so for the last week or so, almost now, I have had my hands on the EOS R6. There was a video originally scheduled to come out about the EOS R6, but as you guys saw in my other video, all that stuff got deleted. So yeah, let's take this outside and talk a little more about it. It's kind of warm out, so figured I'd just go out there. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, I thought you got the EOS R because that's the one that you wanted at the time. You ended up getting that plus a lens and all these other things. Yes, you're right. I did get all that stuff, but it was time for another upgrade. Okay, so let's talk specifics here. I ended up having enough money to go ahead and upgrade the camera. So that's what I did. I ended up selling my EOS R plus my favorite lens in order to pay the little bit extra money that it was to get the EOS R6. Do I regret it? No, because that lens I barely used anyway, and the EOS R was really starting to show its age. Okay, so let's talk about what I do like about it. I really like the mechanical electronic shutter, the 10 to 20, or what is it, 12? What is it, 12 mechanical, 20 electronic, something like that. Anyway, it's quick, it's fast, and I really, really enjoyed using it. I used it at a wedding this weekend. It was actually my first African wedding, so it was a very special experience for me, but I really enjoyed myself using this camera. The low light, fantastic. Really love it. The quality of the pictures that came out, from what I could see that I looked at originally anyway, it looked really good. The electronic shutter, it's so snappy. And then the autofocus, it's almost like Canon put the eye autofocus in this thing, honestly, from the R3 that's gonna be coming out, because everywhere my eye went, this thing, it just knew. It knew where I wanted to focus at. I don't know if that's the AI. I don't know if there's some other type of magic Canon has going on, but it knew where to focus. And I think I might have missed focus a few times, but that was for my own personal fault. But other than that, this thing was fantastic when it came to photos. I think I took about 2,200 photos. As well, one thing I really enjoyed is the dual card slots. You guys already know about those. So I was able to go ahead and put both copies of RAW and JPEG onto my SD cards, which is just, it's confusing when you're trying to bring them in to your computer and you're using the USB-C, because Canon software just copies everything and then it renames them. Anyway, that's one thing that I don't like, but I really enjoyed it. I went through, I wanna say 2 batteries. Actually, not even fully through 2 batteries. I went through 1 and then some of the battery on a 10-hour wedding, which is like mind-blowing. Like when I had the EOS R, I purchased 2 of the LPE HN, whatever, the new batteries. I had 2 of those, and then I had 1 of the old LPE 6s, and I ran through all 3 of those batteries in, I want to, well, 10 to 12 hours, something like that was the last wedding I had it on. And man, this thing, like, I don't even think I got through half of the second battery. It is so nice to know that I don't need to bring 5 or 6 batteries with me. One thing that I will say was kind of a drawback or annoying about this camera is the focusing system changed on me. So originally I was just using the, of course, the eye autofocus. So there's no point really. It's just you put your point wherever you want it to go when you click on the screen. But other than that, there's no square or anything like that. But for some reason, while I was shooting, it flipped to the one spot, whatever you call it. So there was always like a square on my screen, and I really didn't want that, but whatever, it ended up working out anyway. Also, I figured out, and something I figured out with the EOS R is when you turn on the eye autofocus, it says enabled in the menu. It says enable in the menu, like you still need to turn it on, but when it says enable, it's on. And when it says disable, it's off. I think it should be enabled or disabled, not enable or disable. Didn't really make any sense. So one thing that I noticed that I didn't think I would notice is the EVF and also the screen. Of course, as you can see from, well, everyone who has it, the screen is slightly smaller than on the EOS R, and the EVF is definitely not as sharp. And as well, I don't know if it's just my eye, I'm pretty sure it's not my eye, but I couldn't get the focus, I couldn't set the focus right in this thing. Like, I kept trying to move it around, and I don't know, for some reason I just couldn't focus it right. But so yeah, if you guys can see, the screen is just slightly smaller than on the EOS R. I don't know, there's something about it that's just not that sharp. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't miss focus. Like, it doesn't at all. So if I can say anything else about the camera before I go inside, because it's honestly getting pretty hot out here, the grip, oh my gosh, the grip. It is so nice. I have pretty big hands, right? And just to be able to have a camera where my hand at least fits a lot better, it's, oh my gosh, it's so nice without having the camera grip on it. It's really, really nice. The feel of it is good. I love the touchscreen, the scroll wheels. To be honest with you, I haven't used the nub much at all. I gotta be square with you real quick. People complaining about the EOS R's little touchpad thing, you're a big baby, okay? There was nothing wrong with that thing. I used it, I enjoyed using it. I used it for ISO and I had no issues at all. Just, I don't know, whatever was going on with you guys with that thing. Not you guys specifically, but whoever it was. Now that we're out of the heat, let's address the overheating situation with these cameras once again. As you guys know, since the updates have been rolling out, 1.1.1, 1.2.1, 1.3.0, which was retracted, and then 1.3.1 was put out. A lot of the overheating issues have been resolved. That's not to say the camera does not get hot or overheat at all. To be honest with you, I haven't used it much with video since I got it. Anyway, you guys know from the last video, a lot's been going on with my data being, you know, yeah, we know. But as you guys know, there's been a lot going on with my data being erased and trying to get that back. And like, I just haven't really used the camera for video, but I did get some great use in it for my photos that I did for the wedding. Like I said, they turned out really great. The camera, even with the photo mode, it did get warm, especially, I don't know if you guys know, the area that it gets the most warm is kind of here, but it really, really gets warm, like right in this area, which is kind of right where your thumb is gonna sit. So you don't feel it. Obviously, it doesn't burn you or anything like that, or say you don't feel it. You feel it, but it doesn't burn you. But when you put your thumb here after putting it somewhere else, you notice that it's warm. A combination of you having your hand on it, as well as the camera being somewhat sealed. I think it's like, what is it, like splash resistant and dust resistant, something like that. It's not full on weather resistant though. But as we know, as a result of that, the camera is going to warm up. That's just the nature of the beast.
I did use it for a few video clips, nothing super long, but I didn't get any overheating warning for photo, and then I'll have to really come back and talk to you guys about the video part. But from what is that a mosquito? But from what I have noticed, from what I have tried out with the little bit of video that I have taken, and from what other people have said, there shouldn't be much of an issue, unless you're constantly recording in like 4K 60 for, you know, over the time limit. I think you can go for over an hour now before it really starts to get hot. But I'm going to be shooting in 4K 24, which shouldn't be too much. And there's also a new codec that was added with the 1.3.1 update that allows for IPB light, which has a little less of a draw on the sensor, I'm imagining, since it's a light version. So maybe that overheating issue has gotten even better. Like I said, I haven't done any extensive video testing, but it seems to be fine for what it is. I will be doing an IPB versus IPB light, and a bunch of other stuff. I got a lot of stuff happening, so you guys stay tuned. But my recommendation is, if you can skip the EOS R, if you have enough money to get the R6, just get the R6. There's one last thing. See that wheel right there with the modes on it right here? So those 3 modes, the custom modes, you can't set them for video. You cannot set them for video. I don't know why, but that is my most disgusting. I almost returned this camera just because I couldn't set video modes to custom. Literally, I was looking at Amazon after I bought it, and I was like, I'm gonna return this thing like right now. I cannot believe it did not come with this feature. Like, what is wrong? I think that is a mosquito. I cannot believe that Canon would release a somewhat like a prosumer camera that does not have this feature. Like, I understand it's not the Pro, it's not the R5. It's a 20 megapixel camera versus a 45 megapixel camera. I don't understand why. Like, I was seriously, I was like hovering over the return button, but I ended up keeping it. And so far for photos, love it. Absolute great camera, greatest camera I've ever shot with. And I haven't shot weddings with or photos with like great cameras. You know, I had the 6D, then I got the M50, then I got the EOS R, then I got the R6. I could have got the R5, but that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot. And the 4K in the regular 4K is sharper in the R6 than the R5. So, you know, plus that 1080p 120. I mean, I don't need 4K 120. There's no point. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this review, guys. I recommend it. I really do, even though it doesn't have the custom video modes. I could easily just swap over to it, so that's why I ended up keeping the camera. But I recommend it. Go ahead and get it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for kicking it with me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Phone's ringing. Peace.